Hi, hello everybody. So this is me, Dr. Peggy, in front of you all. So as I have discussed in my previous video, we were talking about embryology of pituitary gland. So as a continuation of the video that I've already made. So today I'm discussing the histological aspect of pituitary gland. So let's dive into it. First, let's begin with the anterior pituitary and the different parts of it. So first and foremost, let me tell you or remind you that the adenohypophysis or the anterior pituitary has three major parts. One is pars tuberalis, pars distalis, and pars intermedia. So the anterior pituitary, the part of the anterior pituitary which covers more than 50% of the area of the anterior pituitary is nothing other than pars distalis. So pars distalis is that part of the pituitary gland that covers more than 90% of the physis. Yeah, we'll discuss about that pars distalis of the anterior pituitary 50%, more than 50%, that is equivalent to almost 75% of the adenohypophysis is covered by pars distalis. All right. So the type of cells that are present in pars distalis include chromophobes and chromophils. So what is chromophils? Chromophils, as the name suggests, is a kind of cells, secretory cells that are present, or secretory granules that are present in the cytoplasm of the cells. So what are the secretory cells? So these secretory cells have affinity towards particular dyes. So we know that there are two kinds of major dyes that we use, two kinds of dyes that we use most commonly. That is, one is acidic dye and the other one is basic dye. So acidic dye, so chromophils, among chromophils, some cells that are present in the pars distalis have affinity towards the acidic dye, whereas some have affinity towards the basic dye. So the chromophils that have affinity towards the acidic dye is known as acidophils, and that have affinity towards the basic dye is known as basophils. So we have to come across the other topic that we have to discuss right here. So almost half of pars distalis is somatotrophs. That is more this kind of cells that among the kind of cells that is present pars distalis, around 50% of it, well, though they are in least amount. So they are gonadotrophs and other kinds of cells. So talking about the next portion that we have to discuss here, let's move on to pars tuberalis. So pars tuberalis, as we know, is that part of that part of pituitary gland which surrounds the infundibulum, right? So it surrounds the infundibulum. That is pars tuberalis. So this pars tuberalis has major kind of cells as gonadotrophs. Gonadotrophs are the major kinds of cells that is present in pars tuberalis. And what does gonadotrophs secrete? Gonadotrophs secrete LH and FSH. Okay, so LH, as everyone knows, is luteinizing hormone, and FSH is follicular stimulating hormone. So LH women is ACSH. Okay, so ACSH is the name of the LH hormone when it is present in men. So what is the abbreviation for this? It is intermediate cell stimulating hormones, right? So it is the intermediate cell stimulating hormones. So let's move on to the third part of an adenohypophysis, that is pars intermedia. So the kind of cells that is present in pars intermedia are basically basophils, that is have affinity towards the basic dye. So among basophils, what kind of cells are present? Corticotrophs. Okay, so chromophobes are the other kind of cells. So I think I missed out in the discussion previously that chromophobes are what kind of cells? Chromophobes are those kind of cells that do not have the secretory granules present in the cytoplasm of the cells. Okay, so they do not have, or they do not secrete any kind of secretions. Thus, they do not have any particular affinity towards acidic or basic dye. It's irrelevant in their case. So the other kind of cells that are present in pars intermedia is colloid filled cyst. All of these are which is derived from the lumen of the embryonic pouch. Okay, so we can see this histological image in which pars nervosa. Pars nervosa is nothing but a part of pars neurohypophysis, right? So neurohypophysis has two parts: pars nervosa and infundibulum. That is the stalk, right? Stalk of neurohypophysis, or yeah. So this pars nervosa is that part of the pituitary gland, and that is known as the neurohypophysis. It's a part of the pituitary gland, right? So this is pars distalis, this is the stalk, this is pars tuberalis that surrounds the stalk, right? This is the histological overview. And since we have already come across some of the cells that is present in the hormonal cells that are present in the anterior pituitary, but let's discuss briefly what are all of them and their major functions in a brief manner. Okay, so the first and foremost what I would like to bring into your attention would be somatotropes. What is somatotropes? That are those kind of cells that are percentage of the cells, yeah, 50% hormones. They stimulate body growth, right? All of these functions they exhibit. They stimulate body growth, they stimulate secretions, stimulates lipolysis, inhibits the action of insulin on carbohydrate and other functions. So the hormones secrete. So we already know that corticotropes are basophils, right? So they secrete hormones, adrenocorticotropic hormones. Yeah. So corticotropes. Yeah. So ACTH and corticotropin. All right. So stimulate the function of this hormones will be basically to stimulate production of glucocorticoids, androgen by the adrenal gland, maintain signs of zona fasciculata and zona reticularis of cortex hormone which is present in it, and they have the function of producing thyroid hormones, which is by thyroid follicular stimulating hormones and luteinizing hormones are secreted. They have the function of stimulating development of in the testes, causes ovulation and formation of corpus luteum in the ovary. Progesterone by the ovaries stimulates testosterone. Drops also secrete a particular kind of hormones that is prolactin. So they help in the milk secretion and production. So this is the different kinds of cells and their functions that are present in the anterior pituitary. Now let's discuss about the posterior pituitary gland. Posterior pituitary has cells known as, they don't have any kind of secretory cells which secrete any particular kind of hormones as such, but they have in particular glial cells, all right? This, which is also known as pituicytes. It's an MCQ question. It is pituicytes, known as also present in the form of astrocytes, and it is the major kind of cell which is present in the pituitary gland. All right, so it is the major kind of cells which is present in the pituitary gland, and there are though they do not secrete any particular hormone, but in a hormone, but they also have a function of releasing certain kinds of, or they have they are they have certain kind of well developed components which synthesize products like hormones. So and has particular kind of functions. Pituitary gland has particular kind of functions because of the cells it exhibits, I mean, it contains. So in neurohypophysis, it is oxytocin, right? So oxytocin has certain functions. One is they help in the production. Okay, they help in the production of, or they help in the simulation, or helps in the contraction of the smooth muscles of or to be precise, you can also say that they help in the contraction of smooth muscles of the uterine. Yeah. So they helps in the contraction of uterine, right? Uterine, I mean, they help in the contraction of this, they helps in the contraction of, or they helps in uterine contraction. Okay. So nursing infant induces this oxytocin, secreting by stimulating certain, sensory tract that act on the hypothalamus. So this sensory tract act on the hypothalamus, and it results in this ejection of milk. All right, and also oxytocin has another very important function that is not much known. So this is that oxytocin produces a kind of psychological bond between the mother and the baby. Okay, that is a psychological bond of connection between mother and baby. So here ends the histological aspect of pituitary gland, both the parts. So I hope you had a good time, and the other portions for the or the other endocrine glands or the continuation of pituitary gland will be seen on the next coming up videos. I hope you guys will stay tuned. So hope to see you guys soon. Bye.